This is one of my absolute favorite questions on any SAT I've ever seen. It's such a good trap question, okay? And you might not have known it was a trap, but I did. I knew going in that this was going to be a problem. So the reason I knew is that this is a number 12. And I talked on number 7 about the difficulty of how the SAT works, but this is number 12 out of 15, so we're near the end of the multiple choice part of the section. That means this is a hard question. So if you just looked at this and picked an answer and you have no work on your page, that should have been a big red flag that you were falling for a trap. The hard questions are not going to be that easy, right? No matter how good you are at math, there's always a very high risk of a trap or some sort of twist in the question that you're going to miss if you're not doing the work and proving your answer. So we really want to prove this. Now, there's a couple ways to think about it. The way that I use involves a lot of strategies. So first and foremost, I see that I have a line. And I know that one of my other strategies is to get back to basics. So if they're talking about a line, I probably want to have some sort of y equals mx plus b equation because that's the basic form of a line. So if I can build that, I'd probably understand what's going on a lot better. And they're very explicit. They say that the slope is 1/7. So 1/7 is my m. And then what's my b? Where does it cross the y-axis? This is where people have a little trouble, but it does say that it passes through the origin. And remember, the origin is the point 0, 0. We need to memorize that. And so the y-intercept is just 0, right? So I could put it on there, but it doesn't really matter. Plus 0 just means, doesn't do anything. So the equation of my line is y equals 1/7 x. Now, why does that help? Well, I can recognize instantly that another one of my strategies could be helpful here. I know that one of my strategies is to plug points into equations. If I have points and I have an equation, which I just made, I know to plug them in and see what happens, right? Now, even before I made that equation, I might have thought about that strategy, right? Because I see that there are points in the choices. So knowing that this strategy exists, I might be like, well, it'd be really awesome if I had an equation to plug them into. And there you go. That's okay. That's a good way to reason through SAT questions, is to be like, what do I have? What do I wish I had? A lot of times you can wish something into existence. And here we just followed the instructions in the question and we got the equation. Now we can plug them in. And this is me proving my answer, rather than just trusting my instincts. And let's see, why does it matter? Well, let's try choice A, right? So that's going to be 7 is my y, and 1/7 of my x is 1/7 of 0. Well, 1/7 times 0 is just 0. So this doesn't make any sense. 7 equals 0? No, that's just wrong. That's not a valid equation, so that's no good. Let's keep going. Let's do B, right? So that's going to be 7 is equal to 1/7 of 1. Well, anything times 1 is itself, so 7 equals 1/7? No, that's not true either. And that's the answer that most people pick. And they pick it without any work on their page because they see the 1 and the 7 and they think about it. And they're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Well, no, it's a trap. You should have smelled the trap from the beginning. No question in the hard territory is going to be that easy where you can just kind of like poof, make the answer appear in your head. You shouldn't trust that. Those are bad instincts. And so we can keep going now. We're proven 7 equals 1/7 times 7. Well, that doesn't work either because 1/7 times 7 is just 1. So that doesn't work either. And finally, we're left with choice D. And this is probably the one that if you had to just like bet money from the start without actually doing any work, this would be the one that nobody would bet on. Everybody would assume that this is just wrong. It doesn't seem to match with what we're seeing. But if we do the actual math, 1/7 times 14 is the same as 14 divided by 7, and that is in fact 2. And so there is our answer. The thing that was least likely to be the answer when we started is proven to be the answer when we end. That's why I love this question. They so heavily tried to pull you into one of these wrong trap answer choices, and most people just never see it coming. So if you can think about the question number as you do this, you are more likely to spot where there's danger and then to actually do the work of proving your answer instead of just going with your gut. That will save you really important points. It's not that you get the hard ones wrong because they're hard. You get them wrong because you fall for the SAT's tricks. We need to know where to look and make it a point to avoid those traps.